Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Layback Gamer, and we're back with another Block Fortress weapon review. Well, actually, weapons, because in this episode I'm going to attempt to make up for the lack of recent Block Fortress weapon reviews. So, in this episode, we're going to be covering 3 different weapons, try to cover, at least this should put me about up to date with what I had ideally had in mind. So, as you can see here, we're going to be covering the Shrink Gun, the Cryo Gun, and the Gravity Gun. All 3 of them I would consider to be in their sort of their own class as a strictly support, because they each do a little bit of damage, but their primary use is within their special abilities. So, Cryo Gun freezes enemies in a large area, does 5 to 10 damage, so very low amounts, has a range of 30 blocks, AoE radius of 6, very high piercing, 4, well, can fire, I guess, 4 shots every second, and has a capacity of 5, stun chance 100% per attack, and a reload time of 10 seconds. Gravity Gun, which I've tricked out a little bit. How much does it oh, I've also apparently tricked out that a little bit as well. So, range, what about reload? Okay, reload's only 2, I don't have any. Oops. What about AoE? I should check this out beforehand, but as I try to find something that I think will have AoE, okay, so that's a big NO for that. Well, you know what? One of them's not going to hurt, so well, we can check out the mods for them later in just a minute. But the Gravity Gun, a powerful weapon that alters the gravity in an area for a short duration, range of 24 blocks, does no damage, and I believe AoE is a 25%, or it's a 0.5 block. Okay, so it normally has an AoE of 5, rate of fire of 1.6 per second, capacity of 3, reload time of, I think it should be about 12 seconds, roughly. And a 50% slow chance per attack. And last but not least, the Shrink Weapon, or the Shrink Gun. I'm going to go ahead and take one off here quickly. I don't know why I did that. A weapon that shrinks all units in a radius, reducing their speed, damage, and durability for a short time. Range of 20 blocks, radius of 5, rate of fire of 1.6 per second, capacity of 3, and I think this comes with a monster reload of about 6. Well, we're sitting at about 55% right now. No, 60%. So, oh, my number game is failing at the moment here. It's about 20 seconds. Actually, yeah, it would be 20 seconds. So, I consider these support, again, because they do, with the exception of the Cryo Gun, they do no damage, and Cryo Gun does at late game, a very negligible amount of damage. But this essentially will give a chance to stun, and it's aptly named because, well, it's supposed to act as a freeze gun, essentially. Gravity alters the gravity in the area, so it doesn't send them flying, it just essentially reverses the gravity, so it sends them flying upward. And the Shrink Gun shrinks all the enemies down. Out of all of them, the Gravity Gun is my absolute favorite. I love it. It's an awesome gun. I don't really play around with the Shrink Gun as much as this might allude to, but the Shrink Gun can also be really fun. Just go around, boom, 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 shrink all the enemies down. And the Cryo Gun is the one that I have played the least. So, actually, I don't think I've ever played with the Cryo Gun before. Maybe once when I first bought the game, but I haven't done so recently. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to some field tests. Let's see here. What's going to be a good one? I want a bit of a later start. We could do this. No bots. Now, I'm going to be showing off one wave of each, and we're only going to be using the support weapon of that. Oh, and I'm also going to have my stim pack and my sword with me. So here we go. Let's start with the Cryo Gun. Then gonna purchase the Gravity Gun and purchase the Shrink Ray afterwards. We'll start with the Cryo Gun. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. And go. As you can see, just shoot it there and it stuns all the enemies here, meaning you can go up to them, especially with a nice weapon such as the power blade, and just, well, hack them. Oh wow, that escalated quick. Oh my, that escalated quickly. Quickly, I need to get back to it. Okay, so maybe this was maybe not the best example. Man, did they ever rush me. You know what? Let's go back there. We did get a pretty decent one with the power, with the, no bot, please. We did get a pretty decent one with that, with the Cryo Gun weapon. As you can see, it didn't really do too much. It definitely needs a bit of an upgrade in order to use. So let's go ahead and take my favorite one into battle. And instead of the power blade, I'm gonna instead opt for our minigun. This is gonna be fun, trust me. So fires flat there, and they're all in the air now. There you go. The best thing about this is you can jump in your own gravity-negating field. And it's fun. It's fun. Just watch yourself get prepared at the propel downwards. Bye-bye! Yeah, this works a lot better. Look at that! This gun's off! I love this weapon! Almost got hit by one of those. What do you think? This is a zero gravity zone. I thought it was all the conditions of fighting with the head. What? This is a zero gravity zone. So obviously, these weapons work best when you have a lot of backup with you. As you can see, this is the type of backup that I have. Like this. I'm joining you guys! And all of a sudden, oh, hey! That's just rude! I have to go flying like that. I'm on the ground with you guys. Here, you guys are enjoy the zero gravity. This is a zero gravity zone. Last thing about this is if you're in a gravity well drop, you can just shoot at them until it actually runs out. And there is actually even a limit on how far you can go. Join me up here! Oh, that didn't really work. It's an awesome weapon. Seriously, if you guys ever get a chance to pick up the gravity gun, definitely pick it up. Sadly, we're now going to move away from it and into the shrink gun, which, well, it's an alright weapon. It's not my favorite. Out of all three of them, I would definitely take the gravity gun. Disintegrators, disintegrators, disintegrators. It does have a very nice sound effect to it. So if I can find it, well, I was kind of hoping for a couple of big waves here. Not these small ones where my lasers are killing everything before they can spawn. as you can see, look at them. They were tiny. They were tiny little goblogs. In all seriousness, though, those disintegrators can attack from halfway across the map. Well, if you put your base here, they can hit you from here, and they hurt. I don't have any. If I had armor on, they'd do about roughly half the damage that they do. I think that they currently did, but one shot took about a quarter of my health. And here's the mini goblin. This isn't cute. Ooh, 74, nice. I don't unlock anything anymore. I'm already next level. Look how fast I'm moving. I'm just running across the battlefield. And definitely has one of the more unique sound effects in the game. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. I believe all my turrets do have night vision, so we're going to do one final one, and I'm not going to have any weapons with me. I'm going to keep the spotter. No, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to keep my stim pack so I can run around the place. But we are going to go ahead and play with all three of them. And together, all three of well, this could possibly either go really well or really poor. All right, let's go. Now, sadly, I can't see. I just have to rely on what we got down here. That's not good. I don't actually have anything to deal with them. This is what it's really good for, blowing up getting rid of those really small guys. As you can see, sadly, this is not going to be doing that much damage, so, well, it's doing a fair bit. Of course, that's where I get shadows. Shadows can't, these guys are called shadows, and they can't actually be hit by, turrets. So I suppose it's a good thing I did bring a block that, or a turret that, a weapon, that's what it's called. Interesting here. Oh, if those shadows get through, this is gonna be. Oh, yep, I can. One of them, I think, got into the base. This is gonna, we're not gonna be able to beat this because I can't actually, What? He's not obeying the rules. The rules. Well, this is definitely one of the more unique challenges I've had to face within a while. Killing my enemies with only, shot right there. Where's this other? Oh, I haven't even ran. I played so long without music. Okay. Uh, well, I did promise I would try to bring more content. This isn't what I had in mind, though. Oh. Where's this other guy coming from? I can't hear him. Ow, 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 ow. Hey, enough. Why is this guy so slow? Hey friend, how you doing? Oh. We did it! We did it! I wasn't expecting to pull that off, to be completely honest. We did it. Never do that in a mission where you have shadows. It'll end poorly. I promise you, it will end poorly. Thank you, heroes. Thank you. I really should be turning notifications off, but I wasn't expecting to have it last this long. This is gonna be a bit of a longer video. I do apologize for that, but that was fun. I have to admit, having all of these weapons together and then with the stim pack on the back of it to help heal up your health over time, that was really fun. If I traded the stim pack out for something like a, I don't know, minigun, sniper, or any of the other weapons, that would have gone a lot smoother. But regardless, that was fun. I'm wondering if we can, it'd be an interesting challenge to start at a level 5 at a level 5 base and then continue to go onward using only the cryo gun, the shrink gun, and the gravity gun. Oh, I'm coming up with a lot of good ideas for series in this. Anyways, let's move on. This video is already longer than it should be. So mods for this one: that damage, range, AoE, reload, and tactical light. Tactical light, just get that out of the way right now. Don't ever buy it. It's garbage. Damage mod, this one I would highly recommend. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and install a damage mod onto here because that ended up working really well, that sort of risque challenge that we had going there. If I can increase it to 100% to do 10 to 20 damage, I think this would be a much better offensive weapon in that challenge. So that's going to be a goal there, is to get that weapon up. Of course, I'm going to be restarting this from square one, so that means it's not really going to matter. But if you want this to be an offensive weapon, definitely go for damage. Range is another. It's a decent choice for this one. I would kind of lean away from it though. Area of effect mod, also it would be a really good choice for this. Just increase that. Probably 2 of them would do well. Increase the block by 1, maybe 2 if you're feeling it. Get it up to 8. Reload, it's got a 10-second reload. So I think a final build for this one, and it's going to focus a lot more on damage, is we have 8 damage mods, 2 reload mods, and 2 area of effect mods. That'll decrease the time by 30%, making a 7-second cooldown. Have a 7 area of effect radius and an extra 200% damage increase to this weapon. Or if you want to, you can also sub out the reload mod, the area of effect mods for reload mods, and have it down to 4 seconds, which might actually be a better choice. Yeah, I think that would be maybe a better choice. It doesn't matter. Here, you can interchange either reload mods or area of effect. If you get a bigger area of effect, obviously you can affect more, deal a little bit of damage to a larger radius, and with reload, you get more shots quicker. So overall, Cryo Gun, it's out of the 3 of them, I definitely believe it's the worst out of the 3. But when you combined all 3 of them together, they definitely have a very fun use, as I just witnessed. I never even thought to do that before. So Here on the gravity weapon, we have range, area of effect, reload, and tactical light. Basically the same, with the exception of the damage, the same as the Cryo Gun. And I think the Shrink Gun might also have the same. So this one, I would highly recommend getting all of your reload mods and all of your area of effect mods and one range mod. That as simple as that. Get the max, well, yeah, that's as simple as that. 75% reload reduction, an extra 3 blocks of range, and a slightly faster reload time. Of course, if you want to, you can input a little bit more into reload. Oh, my bad, into range. Yeah, just whatever you do, don't pick tactical light for this. Also a bad one to have. Reload, oh, this one actually has an increase to slow that you can do for this. So this one I would highly recommend getting all of your reloads as I had earlier. Maybe 2 area of effect mods so you could get it up to the range of 6, and then slow, and then the rest of them into slow. I think ideally for this one you have with the, if you're going to be using them together, all 3 of them together, you have all 3 of these affect roughly the same area. So in this case, you wouldn't even bother with area of effect. Okay, thank you. I do apologize for all these notifications. I did not think YouTube would give me so many notifications. I'll have to. I'll turn that off in the next video. I do apologize for that. Yeah, so if you're going to use them all together, I would highly recommend keeping the area of effect the same so that you can just point in an area, use the say right below you, point, use the gravity gun, point, use the shrink ray, and then manually aim the cryo gun, but it'll get roughly around the same. If you wanted to increase the area of effect radius for the cryo gun by an extra point, just so that when you're targeting around, it'll capture a little bit more. But out of all of them, I'd rate the gravity gun as number 1, shrink ray as number 2, and cryo gun is number 3. And that's just a preference there. All of them are good support weapons to use. You'll get the cryo gun a lot sooner than you will get the gravity or shrink ray or shrink gun. I should have just called it shrink ray because I keep calling it shrink ray. Gravity gun and shrink gun you'll get about the same time. I think you might get the gravity gun first though. In terms of which is the best in an overall, I would argue that shrink would possibly be a better choice over gravity gun. Though yes, gravity gun is my favorite, I think shrink ray, because it reduces speed, damage, and their health, it's just it's just a far better in the very, very late game. Gravity gun, I'd say, is good from honestly about the mid game to the point where you would want to consider switching off to the shrink ray or shrink gun. And cryo gun, I suppose that could cover the early game, or just if it fits your play style. So that's gonna do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. 3 weapons covered in 1 episode. Actually, I got 3 notifications from YouTube, so that's an interesting sign there. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video or any of my other videos to anybody who you think will enjoy my content. Next review, I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe bundle another 3 into this, because these guys could also go really well together. And that's the spotter, armor, and stim pack, which will all go, you can stack them all on top and then have 1 weapon and essentially just run around, deal a lot of damage. Or if you wanted to, you can even combine it with a couple of these other more supporty weapons, such as, well, not really the cloaking gun, but the gun drone. You can probably combine it with the gravity or shrink ray. Teleport relay, not really. Missile pack, I don't know. But we'll be covering those 3 in the next review. Until then, though, take it easy.